Welcome to my ULDUAR raid guide. My name is Antifragile, and in this video I'll show you Flame Leviathan 25-man strategy. Flame Leviathan encounter consists of controlling 3 different types of vehicle that are pre-assigned by raid leaders. Once everyone is ready to start the encounter, the raid leader will speak to Brand Bronzebeard. If your raid group wants to try this encounter in hard mode, you need to speak to Lore Keeper of Norganon, located in front of the stairs as you head down to the vehicle area, and then speak to Brand Bronzebeard. As mentioned before, there are 3 different types of vehicles, and each vehicle will need a driver and a gunner. Each individual vehicle's health and damage output is based on your character's item level, so you want to wear items with the highest item level. Depending on your class, you can wear any armor type to maximize your item level. But please note that for those going on top of Flame Leviathan to destroy 4 turrets, will need to wear your normal gear to maximize your damage output. And ideally, caster DPS and healable hybrid caster DPS is recommended, since melee can only hit 1 turret that is located in front of them when they land on top of Flame Leviathan. So, the 3 vehicles that you will either be driving or gunning is Chopper, Siege Engine, and Demolisher. These vehicles are parked in a large area below as you enter ULDUAR, and there are 5 vehicles each. Depending on which mode you are planning to encounter Flame Leviathan, you will either use all vehicles or leave some vehicles to focus on rotating Demolisher gunners to put Flame Leviathan on systems shutdown as often as possible. The first vehicle that we are going to cover is Chopper. If your raid group is not attempting hard mode, only 1 raid member per vehicle will ride this. But if your group is doing hard mode, then your second group that is going on top of Flame Leviathan will get on the passenger seat and ready to be a gunner at pre-assigned Demolisher. As a chopper, you need to remember 2 things. Firstly, you need to press 2 to place tar in front of Flame Leviathan to slow the boss down. And passengers on Demolisher will use first button to put tar on fire to deal damage to the boss. Secondly, you need to pick up pre-assigned raid member going on top of Flame Leviathan to destroy defense turrets. Once you pick up the member up, use 5 to quickly heal the passenger while using 3 to quickly escort them to assigned Demolisher so that the driver can maintain its blue pirate stack on Flame Leviathan. The second vehicle is Siege Engine, which acts as a melee. As a driver, you need to stay close to Flame Leviathan to ensure that you interrupt the flame vent using electroshock by pressing 2. Otherwise, you ram into Flame Leviathan by pressing 1 to deal damage to the boss and mobs in front of you. You only press Steam Rush, which is the 3rd button when you're pursued by the boss and need to run away quickly. For a gunner, you need to focus on taking down blue pirates that are floating on top by pressing 2, which shoots out anti-air rocket so that Demolisher can snatch it to build debuff stacks on the boss. When you're pursued, you need to activate shield generator so that you give time for the driver to rotate the vehicle to run away from Flame Leviathan. You will rarely use fire cannon, since you will use anti-air rocket most of the time to shoot down blue pirates and aim towards the mobs on land. The final vehicle is Demolisher, which acts as a caster DPS, where you need to keep a distance with Flame Leviathan to hurl boulder by pressing 1, run away if pursued, and look out for blue pirates around so that the gunner can hook it and reload it to fire pirate barrel on the boss. Finally, you press 4 to throw a passenger on top of Flame Leviathan to destroy defense turret to stun the boss to deal an additional 50% more damage. As for the gunner, you press first button to fire mortar on the tar that was placed by Chopper in front of the boss, and on hard mode, you use it on ally vehicles that froze from Hordier's Fury. Second button is similar to Siege Engine's gunner, where you shoot down blue pirates in the air and fire at mobs on land to kill them. You will use 3rd button most of the time by clicking blue pirates located nearby and hook it to reload on the Demolisher so that the driver can use 2nd button to hurl pirate barrel on Flame Leviathan to stack debuff to deal more damage. You will rarely use increase speed button to increase the movement speed of the Demolisher unless the driver is too close from the boss and need to run away after being pursued. However, please note that you need to use up 1 blue pirate in order to activate this, so it is not recommended. Finally, you press the 6th button to reload yourself onto catapult so that the driver can throw you on top of Flame Leviathan to destroy turrets with other raid members. But only use this when your raid leader gives a go sign so that all 4 members to go on top at the same time. Compared to other vehicles, Demolisher's driver and gunner needs to communicate often to ensure that blue pirates are always available to maintain tan stacks, deploy gunner to Flame Leviathan when ready, and drive towards blue pirates so that the gunner can hook it and grab the blue pirates from the ground. For those going on top of Flame Leviathan to destroy defense turrets, you will want to assign 3 to 4 raid members, preferably casters, to quickly destroy turrets and return to designated Demolisher via chopper. For hard mode, you want to assign 2 groups of 3 casters with 1 hybrid caster to top up other members' health if dropping too low. This way your Demolisher will always have a gunner to fill its role and be ready to be deployed. While Demolisher gunner is busy hopping in and out from one vehicle to another, other raid members need to maximize DPS on Flame Leviathan while it's on systems shutdown, which receives 50% more damage. Once you have all raid members assigned to each role and what vehicles and fully aware of the skills they need to use, let's begin. Flame Leviathan's encounters start by destroying all the mobs and towers ahead, but if you're doing hard mode, you must not destroy 4 large towers with red, green, blue and yellow crystals on top. However, if your raid group wishes to soften up the hard mode, you can destroy 1 or 2 towers depending on which tower buffs your raid do not wish to face. Take a moment and see which tower activates which buff during Flame Leviathan encounters. Once you clear all the trash mobs and small towers, Flame Leviathan will appear by destroying the gate. Flame Leviathan uses 5 skills, and the first skill is called Battering Ram, which rams the target, dealing heavy damage and knocking them forward. Second is Missile Barrage, which fires missiles into the air that will randomly hit nearby enemy targets, dealing 3,700 to 4,200 damage. Third skill is called Pursued, which is the one that every driver must run away when pursued. When the boss is caught up with your vehicle, it is very likely that your vehicle will be destroyed with few hits from Battering Ram, so it is imperative that all drivers must stay alert and stay well away from Flame Leviathan. And for those on siege engines, your gunner will need to act quickly by using shield generator to absorb some damage. Fourth skill is Flame Vent, which inflicts 3,000 fire damage to enemies around the caster, so that all siege engine drivers must interrupt this skill by using electroshock to reduce any further damage from this skill. Finally, the fifth skill is Gathering Speed, which is a stacking buff that grants 5% movement speed per stack, leading up to 20 times for a total of 100% increased movement speed. These stacks can only be removed by destroying 4 defense turrets on top of Flame Leviathan to activate system shutdown to overload it. When the boss is overloaded, this is when all raid members focus their damage on Flame Leviathan, since it takes 50% additional damage during this period. As mentioned earlier, it is very important that all raid members are fully aware of the boss fight and act accordingly to its situation to maximize damage and stay alive. If you wish to encounter Flame Leviathan in hard mode, you need to move around to stay away from yellow, blue and red pillar lights while killing all the trash mobs spawning from the green lights. Flame Leviathan hard mode requires full coordination between raid members and communicate frequently to ensure that everyone is on top of what they need to do during the encounter. But if everyone is on board, it's only a matter of time to kill Flame Leviathan.